Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Steve with LRM. Today we're going to talk about replacing the shift controller stock that's next to your steering wheel. You know, this bad boy right here. But before we get started, if you want some more content coming your way, don't forget to subscribe. If you see anything that you like, don't forget to pound that like button. So if you have any questions, any concerns, or anything you want to ask me, don't forget to leave a comment at the bottom. All right guys, so let's talk about your stock controller for the automatic transmissions on a Freightliner Cascadia with the DT12 transmission. So you'll usually get a code on the dash, you know, stock not communicating, short, or anything like that that goes towards a stock controller. And the good news about this bad boy is you don't need to program it. This is something that you guys can definitely do on your own. Buy the stock controller at your dealership. And then of course, any codes that you see, remember how we pull that up on the dash? And your technician says, hey, you need to just replace this. You don't have to go to a shop, guys. You can do it yourself, save yourself some money. It's gonna be 2 bolts that hold it on, as well as just 1 plug. It's pretty simple. So today we're gonna talk about that, how to remove the little panel and then get access right to this, which is held on by 2 screws, and install the new one. So let's hop right into it. All right, guys. So I opened up the driver's side door. We're gonna remove 2 screws on the bottom and 2 on the top. What you're gonna need for this is a T30 torque bit. So I'm gonna use a gun because I want life to be simple for myself. Before you start anything, if your steering wheel is in the upright position, as you can see, you just push this down and the steering wheel comes down like so, and then just lock it back up. So that'll allow you to access to 2 screws, 1 here and 1 on the other side. So what I'm gonna do now is, remember guys, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So we're gonna go loose. There's get the 2 bolts on the bottom, just like that. Get those out. And then we're gonna go on the top side and remove those 2 screws. So the 2 screws on the top are totally different, which are gonna be a little bit smaller. So I'm assuming that they're gonna be a T20, which it is. So guys, T30 on the bottom, T20 on top. I think I haven't done this before. All right, once I get those 2 screws out, as you can see, you may want to just lift the steering wheel back up. There we go. And now we have access to our shift controller, which is right here. All right, and I'm going to switch back over to my T30, and then right below it should be your little plug. Comes out just like that. And little screw. Whew. Turn on my light. Oh, this one's different from the other one I just did. All right, so that one's a T20 as well. Just did a controller the other day, and then both torque bits took T30s. Once you get that screw out, got it. Once you get that out, then the controller comes out. The one I did the other day was a little different. It took T30 all the way around. This particular truck, this is a 2019 that I am working on. This one's a little different. So you have T30 on the bottom and T20 for the 2 screws on top, as well as for your shift controller. All right, so once you get, like I said, there's nothing else to do. It's just plug and play. Once you remove it, what you're gonna do is install the new one, and you just do everything in reverse. So everything you finish with is what you're gonna start with. So as you guys can see, the little notches, you're just gonna put them right in, back in the holes. Just should fall in just like that. So I'm not gonna use the gun to get it started. I normally do everything hand, so I don't cross thread. So I don't wanna do that. I'm gonna just snug them up. So that's one right there, as well as this. Just gonna snug everything up so it's nice and tight. And then I'm gonna put my gun back on, which I already have it set at 12, if you guys all wanna know. Remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey, and my gun will stop when it's done and torqued. Whew, just like that. The same thing for here. Once I have that all torqued back up, put the plug back in. Once you click, give it a little pull, and then you start putting everything back together again. And if you guys notice, you'll see like these clips here. So it's gonna go right here. So this will hold it in place. It does the same thing for the top. So just make sure that you line this up here. So you slide this. Whoop. So I should say this. This lever, make sure it's on this side right here, guys. So you might have to put it down a little, then you can lift back up. And all you're gonna do is just line those holes, those tabs, like I said, and then push. And just make sure before you put any screws in it, because you can break the plastic, just make sure all the seams, see how it's nice? You have a gap somewhere, then you know it's not lined up right. Once you have that all in there, and I would do the same thing, you know? Put it in by hand, try not to use a gun. As much as I love to use my gun, you don't want to strip anything out, especially in the plastic. Just like that. See, that one gave me a little bit of issue. Just back it out a little. There we go. And then the same thing for the smaller ones. Remember to lower this down so you can get your tool in there. And I still have it set at the same settings so I don't break anything, which is 12 on my gun on a Milwaukee, in case you guys want to know. Just like that, just like that. And now your shift controller is reinstalled with a new one. And then you just start up the truck and you just make sure it goes in neutral, and then it goes in the gear. Make sure you take it for a test drive. You should be fine. As long as everything was done correctly, you won't have any issues. If this pops out, it's not a big deal. Just slide it back in. This can move a little if you want to give yourself a little extra room like so. All right, guys. All right, guys, so a quick recap on my 2019 Freightliner Cascadia, right? You're gonna need a couple tools. So you're gonna need 2 different torque bits. You need a T30 on the bottom and a T20 for the 2 top screws and the 2 screws that hold into your shift controller, right? So, and also remember, when reinstalling, make sure you hand tighten and then use a proper gun. You can strip or even pull the anchor out of the piece of plastic, which will be a little annoying, then you would have to replace it. So always keep that in mind. Take your time, don't rush, don't break anything else, because if you break something, it's just gonna cost more money. And remember, you know, if you have a fault code for the shift controller stock not responding, it's usually a good indication that this is the problem. The best thing you could ever do is, if you don't know, if you can pull the code right off the dash, reach out to your technician that you know, love, and trust. He may even tell you, you need to replace out the stock, and now you guys know how to do it. If you guys like what you saw today, don't forget to pound that like button. If you have any questions or concerns of what you saw, leave a comment at the bottom. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. I want to try to save you money. I'll see you guys around.